Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 16, text number 6. Sukala upadatte kale chayam vimunchati tamaha sarveshu bhuteshu pratappan suryavad vibhuhu. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This King Prithu will be as powerful as a sun god, and just as a sun god equally distributes his sunshine to everyone, King Prithu will distribute his mercy equally. Similarly, just as the sun god evaporates water for 8 months and during the rainy season returns it profusely, this king will also exact taxes from the citizens and return these monies in the time of need. Purport. The process of tax exaction is very nicely explained in this verse. Tax exaction is not meant for the sense gratification of the so-called administrative heads. Tax revenue should be distributed to the citizens in the times of need during emergencies such as famine or flood. Tax revenue should never be distributed among the government servants in the form of high salaries and various other allowances. In Kali Yuga, however, the position of the citizens is very horrible because taxes are exacted in so many forms and are spent for the personal comforts of the administrators. The example of the sun in this verse is very appropriate. The sun is many millions of miles away from the earth. And although the sun does not actually touch the earth, it manages to distribute land over the planet by exacting water from the oceans and seas. And it also manages to make that land fertile by distributing water during the rainy season. As an ideal king, King Prithu would execute all this business in the village and the state as expertly as the sun. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So praise of King Prithu Maharaj continues. They glorify Prithu Maharaj as powerful as a sun god. And some of the functions of the sun god is compared. Just as a sun god equally distributes sunshine to everyone, King Prithu will distribute his mercy to everyone. He will take taxes from the people, and at the time of famine or floods or any emergencies, he would use these taxes for the welfare of the people. Even during other times, the taxes collected from the people are for the people. And this is one of the activities of any ruler, any leader. He acts just as a treasurer, or he acts as a custodian of taxpayers' money, and he distributes that back for the need of the people. Contrary to what is happening in modern times, need of the people, maybe some money is being spent and whereas a large percentage of the money that is collected as tax does not go to the beneficiaries, does not go to the people, but it goes into the pocket of the politicians and the intermediaries. Several decades back, one of the top leaders in this country, he revealed that the money that is allocated in the national budget for the poor people, out of 100%, out of 1 rupee, only 15 to 20 paisa reaches the beneficiary. And because of this, the people, where is the rest of the 80 paisa? Those who are well off are getting. So, the poor is getting 20 paisa. Those who are well off are getting 80 paisa. That means those who are well off will become 4 times richer. And these people will become relatively poorer. In other words, the number of rich people in this country increases and poor people will also, the gap increases between the rich and the poor. The per capita income of the poor, per capita income of the rich will be richer, poor will be poorer. So this is a fact everybody knows in at least in our country, in the government. But however, this has completely taken a 180-degree turns with the present government, where the money is directly transferred to the beneficiaries. Most of the money that is meant for poor people is transferred directly to the people, and crores of accounts have been opened, very historical, in this country by poor people. Otherwise, they never had bank account. It's a huge network. And into their account, directly the money goes for whatever the purpose. Earlier, the money is to go through the Jilla office, through politician, through the state government, etc. So basically, it's a very big improvement, as here Prabhupada is saying, that these monies are not meant for being distributed among the government servants in the form of high salaries and various other allowances. So the administrative cost, government, they have to engage in governance. There is a cost to it. But that is not meant for giving a luxurious life to the government servants. Whenever the government have no funds, they immediately increase the taxation. Why there is no funds? No funds because it's been frittered away. Most of the time, an ideal king, he has to provide for in emergency as explained here, 8 months the sun evaporates the water, and the 4 months of rainy season it returns profusely onto the earth. The same way, the king also has to keep the welfare of the people in the mind. He has no selfish purpose. The king has no selfish purpose. His purpose is to execute his duty as the king, to rule the citizens, to provide for them, to protect them. And this example of sun is a very beautiful example, that how the sun provides and protects the life on earth. Prabhupada explains, though sun is very, very far away, even now in the material world, the material sun is so far away, but life is sustained on this earth because of that sun. Earth is not touching the sun, so far away. A very nice analogy. In the same way, devotees of the Lord are also provided, protected, maintained by the Lord, who is seated in everybody's heart, not in this material dimension. He is close, at the same time he is far away. Paramatma is seated in our hearts, not our material hearts. Paramatma is seated in our heart, means close to the living entity. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes how the Supreme Lord, like a sun is reflected on various water bodies, the same way the Lord of this universe, who is maintaining this universe, is reflecting in each heart, is reflecting into the life of each living entity. No living entity can have life without Paramatma. And that Paramatma is a reflection of like one sun who maintains the entire universe. That is Shirodakshaya Vishnu. He reflects into every one of our hearts. Because of his Leela of providing an opportunity for living entities in this material world to have a life of forgetfulness of him. So the devotees always know that as devotee I am specially maintained, protected and provided. The Lord not only is personally reciprocating in the matter of taking care of his devotees, but through his Kala, through his various agencies, Krishna is also maintaining, providing and protecting all living entities as much as they deserve according to their karma. Devotees, reciprocation, Lord's reciprocation, Paramatma's reciprocation with the devotees is not limited to karma. Of course, it doesn't break the law because it is his law. Kala acts on devotees too. But if Kala, as per Kala, if You are supposed to be in a danger. You will be in a danger. A karmi will not be protected unless he has got good karma. He will not overcome that danger. But the devotees, if they don't have karma to overcome that, good karma to overcome that, does not matter. The Lord intervenes. That is what he says, that Yogakshemam Vahamiham, I provide what they don't have for his devotees. This has to be understood. And therefore, devotee is always fearless. When the Lord is maintaining billions of karmis, he will not maintain me, he will not protect me. Only if I am faithless, then Lord, ye tamam prapadyanse tam tatay bhajamiham. Then we will also be subject exactly like what our kala, guna and karma delivers to us. Our life will be limited to that. So as far as the Lord is concerned, distance is not a factor at all. Even for the sun, it is not a factor at all to maintain earth, being that so far away. Now let's take this analogy to the sound incarnation of the Lord. The Shuddha Nama is in the spiritual world. Is a Surya of Satchidananda. When we chant the holy name of the Lord here with our tongue, immediately all the Shaktis of the Lord, just like here how the sun god, the sun's Shakti, light and heat, is what is sustaining life on earth. Take the analogy. Satta, Chitta and Ananda are the three energies of the Lord. Existence, knowledge and bliss. Existence means power. There are only three things in this world, everywhere. Power, knowledge, love, pleasure, which is called Ananda. So every living entity possesses a little quantity every time in a very dynamic way as a function of time. Sometimes he is powerless, sometimes he has got power, sometimes he is knowledge, sometimes he is in ignorance, sometimes he is happy, sometimes he is distressed. Is it not? Life is all about these three things coming and going as a function of time. That is why it's a gunakala karma. Gunakala karma is modifying my consciousness continuously into dualities of this dualistic experiences. Sukha and dukkha, happiness, distress, love, hate, all these dualities of this material world. Every living entity is going through this as a function of time, kala. So that doesn't come from it. Somebody is providing that or not providing that according to karma. And for devotees, now come back to the Shuddha Nama in the spiritual world. Those who are devotees of the holy name of the Lord, as soon as you worship Him by chanting, the Lord immediately invests all His Shaktis into that. Just like sun does not immediately come and touch the earth. Being so far away, he does his function. Similarly, we do not have sufficient pure devotion to the holy name. We don't have purified senses to be eligible to touch the Shuddha Nama. Therefore, the first stage of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, as you surrender, I reciprocate. I am disqualified, my spiritual senses are sleeping. My spiritual mind is sleeping. Only consciousness is there, just like in the dream. What is there? Your awareness, your consciousness is there. Content of the dream is all bogus. But your consciousness is same. The energy of consciousness is same. Attention is same. So the Lord, first his energies, Sat energy, Chit energy, Ananda energy, will act upon the covering of the soul. Soul is covered by Asat, Achit, Nirananda, Jadananda. It is covered by that. So first, the sound is infused with Nam Namakari Bauda Nija Sarva Shakti. The Shakti is coming from the Sun God, and the Shakti is coming from the Surya of Satchidananda, Shuddha Nama. Like sun is reflecting on different water bodies. Similarly, the Shuddha Nama in the spiritual world, there is a Leela of the Nama in the spiritual world. That Leela is first in the form of infusing Shaktis into the Nama that you chant. And that Nama is called Shakti Avesha Nama. And one who is in touch with holy name of the Lord, he is protected, provided, maintained by the Sattva, Chitta and Ananda Shaktis from the Nama. A devotee's spiritual life is protected, maintained, provided with what he needs for devotion service. Though is far, far away in the spiritual world. And when the spiritual, this distance is a material distance. Devotion has no material distance. By attentively chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once the material covering goes away, automatically the concept of distance between us and God vanishes. And when our senses awakens, then though the sun of Satchidananda is in the spiritual world, the devotee is able to directly serve the Shuddha Nama. Shuddha Nama cannot be served with material tongue. It has to be served with the spiritual body, spiritual tongue, spiritual mind. So that is the aspiration of a devotee who is engaging in Nama Avatara Seva. This is his Avatara Sharira. The sound that we chant is his Avatara Sharira. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You are worshipping this mantra, Mantra Murti. The Vigraha, Mantra Vigraha, Shabda Vigraha. Incarnation, sound incarnation of the pure spiritual Nama of the spiritual world. So how effectively we continuously associate with the Sat Chitta Ananda energies that is costlessly, mercifully being entering into anybody who utters the holy name. Just like the sun god does not discriminate, shines the sunlight everywhere on the earth. In the same way, Lord's Nama Avatara is indiscriminately anybody who chants the holy name of the Lord. He shines his Sat Chitta and Ananda energy for dissolving his Asat Achitta Nirananda. Only when that is dissolved does one's spirit awakens. Now spirit, it's sleeping does not mean it is dead. Just like when you're sleeping and dreaming, it does not mean you're dead. In the sleep, you are active in the sleep world. You're thinking, feeling, willing, these are all your properties. Only it is come from, it is forgotten, its application in the real world and it goes into a dream world. But your spirit faculties are all awakened. You're enjoying and suffering in the dream. You're touching, smelling, tasting, everything in the dream. Why? Because these are all the properties of the spirit. So spirit is misdirectedly active. That is the meaning of saying sleeping, not that sleeping. If 100% sleeping, then it cannot, how these faculties will come out. Experiencer is the soul. Soul is the experiencer in this body. However fallen we are, the soul is the experiencer. He may be experiencing illusion, but he is the experiencer. So, this Asat Achitta Nirananda layer should go away, should evaporate. Sat Shakti will evaporate Asat. Chit Shakti will evaporate Achit. Ananda Shakti will evaporate all our bogus material pleasure and love beliefs that we have, all evaporate. When that is evaporated, then our spiritual mind awakens and spiritual senses awaken. Then not only our material tongue is chanting Shakti Avaishanama, simultaneously our spiritual tongue will be chanting the Shuddhanama. That is our aspiration. In order to succeed in that aspiration, one should have full faith, just like the sun god is equally distributing. The Sat, Chitta and Ananda energies of the Lord are equally distributed and it is left to the receiver. How much to receive? How fast to receive? What is the method to receive? Which means, what is the quality of my japa, my chanting, my seva, nama seva? According to the seriousness with which I relate with the Nama Avatara, I either rapidly progress or I slowly progress. Rain falls on the earth depending on the soil. Some soil will absorb all the earth, all the rain. Rock will not absorb at all. Similarly, we are all chanting the holy name of the Lord. How much kripa enters our heart and transforms. If I do mechanical japa, it's like a rock. You brought the holy name in, but you are not hearing. If you have a submissive heart, begging heart, prayerful heart, then Nama Kripa, Nama Prabhu's Kripa will enter our heart. Without hearing, it cannot enter the heart. So one has to understand this. The most merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, in his most merciful incarnation as Nama Avatara, He is ever welcoming the living entities to take advantage of his association and benefit from his association and come out of forgetfulness of our loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. So, this is a very beautiful example of sun god, sunlight, equally distributed, costlessly distributed. Though far away, so one should not think Shuddhanama is so far away. But it is a Shuddhanama Shakti only is coming into you. When the receiving end becomes clearer and clearer, our distance between our soul and the Shuddhanama vanishes. That's all, the only difference. In other words, now the Nama of the Lord from the spiritual world is acting on us, but we are not able to experience that touch of the Lord. Just like if you're covered with so much dirt, first you have to be bathed to associate with another clean person. So we're all children who are roaming around, loafing around in this material world, in forgetfulness of real life, of association with Krishna, the spiritual family. Forgotten that. And then we are roaming around here. Just like a beggar when he roams around. No bath, nothing, this thing, all those kind of things is dirty. And suddenly if he wants, he discovers, oh, my father is a rich person and why am I hungry like this? Why am I fearful like this? Why am my father will protect me, father will provide me. Instead, with dirty clothes, rags, he's moving around, hunger, everything. All the living entities in this material world who are undergoing that experience of duality, sukha, dukkha, fear, joy, all these things, they're all like the living entities who have left the Supreme Lord's association. So like that, first thing, when you decide to go back, the first thing is the Lord will bathe you, give you new clothes. This bathing is Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Nama Prabhu's mission is to lift the living entities back to Godhead. So we should learn how to bathe nicely every day in the holy name, in the sound. By hearing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So you realize how important it is to hear. Otherwise, water is available, but you are not bathing. When you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Satchidananda, water supply is there. But if you don't hear, you are not bathing. It said Nama Aparadha, inattentiveness, Nama Aparadha. Purpose of Lord descending, you are not fulfilling for your own self. You are like a rock. It's right before you, but you're not absorbing it. So one has to have full faith. If he's chanting his 16 rounds, though the Shuddhanama, Nama of the Lord, Shuddhanama is non-different from Krishna himself. And that Shuddhanama is Nama. That Nama is infusing all the Shaktis into you. And he is maintaining me. So devotees get direct relationship with the Nama Prabhu as my maintainer, protector and provider. And this keeps the devotee completely peaceful and surrendered at the feet of the Lord. Because these are the three causes for fear for living entity in the material world. Who will maintain me? Who will protect me? Always there are dangers. Padam padam yad vipadam. Who will protect me? Who will provide me? Maintenance is minimum, body and all together. Who will provide me my desires? So devotee is 100% having faith that I am directly under the meaning of being under the shelter of the Lord. I am under the shelter of the holy name. I don't have to fear for these things at all. I am truly being taken care of by Nama Prabhu, while also being purified. So, moment we start chanting 16 rounds and hearing 16 rounds, we have begun our journey back to Godhead. Rest of the life, material life itself in this body, the Lord maintains, protects, takes care of the living entity. He provides him transcendental knowledge. He gives him the intelligence by which he can move forward day after day till death to go back to Krishna in a pure consciousness. Any questions? Just like Prabhupada's example of iron put in a fire. This is another beautiful example of sun god, sun rays, sunlight, with respect to understanding incarnation of the Lord, especially Nama Avatara. Yes, question.
Small light note, Prabhu, and it is very powerful to remember. Just what you said just now, connecting to you and Nama Prabhu. Nama Prabhu is given by MPP.
Nama Prabhu is?
Given by MPP. And Nama Prabhu gives us MPP.
No.
It's easy to remember.
Nama Prabhu.
MPP gives Nama Prabhu given by Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That Nama Prabhu is giving MPP. That's what you told Prabhu in the class. Nama Prabhu gives maintenance, protecting and providing.
Very nice.
All the classes you are talking about Nama Prabhu, Nama Prabhu. So everybody knows anything you talk about Nama Prabhu, oh, MPP is going to talk about, Surya of Sachidananda. So now they...
Nama Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. It's the greatest gift in Kali Yuga. No avatara is as merciful as Nama Avatara. That is the reason why we are so fallen and yet we are able to elevate our consciousness to. Can't believe that we can have this kind of a peaceful consciousness in Kali Yuga. Impossible. Those who are not even hearing and chanting also, they are peaceful. That I give example. If the iron is in the fire, it becomes red hot. If the iron is close to the fire, it will get little heat. So, chanting and not hearing is like standing outside the fire. Fire is here, till here. It's not going inside. You send the fire inside, and if you send inside and you have to retain there. If you put a fire inside, you put the iron inside the fire. I am inside and then again come out. Will it become red hot? No. The same way we should. Hare Krishna, continuously. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Moment you think you are out of the fire. So you want to build up the fire, you want to build up Satya, Chitta and Ananda, heat. You have to, without thinking, you have to hear. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की जय.